Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another video. So in this video we are going to be providing you with an update on the Japanese dragon moray. So if you watched the last video, you know that the original Japanese dragon moray died because he had a fishing hook in his body. But the replacement eel was really healthy and is really healthy. I put him into my 1,000 gallon moray tank. But unfortunately, the tessellata kind of scared him a little bit too much because he's just so big. And because of that, I had to catch him, before anything bad happens. So in this video, I'm going to be covering, how I'm going to be setting up his tank. He's going to live with the banana morays. And if everything goes well, this tank should look really cool with the Japanese dragon moray and 2 golden banana eels and a bunch of other cool fish. Okay, so here is the Japanese dragon moray. Really happy that I was able to get him out of the 1,000 gallon tank and also get him out, as early as possible, avoiding any injuries. So he was just being chased. He was not bitten at all, so that's really good. And yeah, he looks actually very similar to the one that has died. So they're very similar in length, so about 20 to 22 inches. Obviously this one has no injuries whatsoever. Like no fishing hook, anything stupid. So yeah, so the plan for this guy is then now to go into my office tank, my 270 gallon tank where the banana morays are. And I'm actually going to redesign this aquarium a little bit. I'm going to install a different type of 3D background that's a lot thinner than the one that I used to use. And just design some more hiding spaces for a third eel. And hopefully, there's going to be no aggression between this guy and the banana morays. He's substantially bigger than the banana morays. So they're, maybe a foot. And he's definitely close to 2 feet. So but I think it's going to be fine as long as they're all fed, as long as everyone has a hiding spot. I just turned on the light only for this video, so I'm going to turn it off pretty soon, and I'm going to put some PVC piping in for him. And then, yeah, I'm just waiting for my 3D background to arrive, and then redesign the office aquarium so he can go in, and then hopefully everything will be fine. Teeth are very impressive. So yeah, stay tuned for the next clip. Okay, so it's now time to break down this tank temporarily yet again in order to install the 3D background. And I'm also going to be building some better caves because this is just a pile of rubble on both sides. Some of it leaning against the back for the circulation that's coming from behind the wall to be able to go on the loop. But it still traps way too much dirt. So I'm going to be, building some nice overhangs and stuff, and so that the dragon moray will have also a lot more space to explore since he's a little bit bigger. So all the rock will go into this Amazon pool, very cheap. It's great for spreading out the rock, making sure that they have enough pieces, sorting pieces, bigger, smaller, thicker, heavier, lighter, etc. So I can build some proper arches. So yeah, I'm going to start going with that and put all the fish in holding tanks, maybe some of them in the sump down below, and then we'll get going. Okay, so here we have the 3D background, and this is the same background that I purchased for the 1,000 gallon tank. So this is from the company called Universal Rocks. But this one is not the brown version. This is called Castle Rock or Castle Rock. So I just wanted to have a little bit of variety in my aquariums. But same with the other one. They're very thin, which is really cool. So they are flush against the wall. There's no dirt going to be accumulating behind it. There's no space getting lost by backgrounds that are really thick and sticking out and have hollow areas in the back. So this is nice and flat. Should make a big difference. The spiny lobster that I have in there, he will like to climb up the walls. Right now he cannot climb up on the back wall because there's nothing to grip on. So simply by installing this 3D background on the entire back wall, I'm giving him a whole other area to explore. Adding space without doing without getting a bigger tank. So yeah, I'm going to install that pretty soon, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, quick update. 3D background is installed and did some changes to the plumbing. So this looks kind of similar to the one in the 1,000 gallon system. It's just a different shade of color. The one in the 1,000 was just called brown, and I think this one is called Castle Rock. And now I'm going to be building, some arches, some rock structure, and basically the way I'm going to be doing it is I'm just going to use a drill, and I'm going to drill holes into this rock, and then I'm just going to stack them, and I'm going to use zip ties. So it may not look absolutely perfect, but the rocks can definitely not be toppled, and I'm able to build some arches, and I think over time these will just disappear in the coralline algae and whatever else grows in the saltwater tank. Alright, so I'm finally finished with the aquarium build or the redesign. I'm going to show you that in a second. And I'm about to put the dragon moray into that aquarium shortly after that. And before I do that, I want to give him one more feeding. So he is eating, that is really good. And he is eating frozen food. The only concern is he likes to eat these frozen spiny gobies. And I do have 5 engineer gobies in my aquarium that are just about that size. So hopefully I have trained him enough to only eat frozen food from me and only eat food that has been soaked in garlic so that he associates the smell of garlic with food and will not go after the other fish. But now I'm going to do one more feeding. Hopefully this will work on camera. And then show you the redesigned aquarium, and then we can put him in. Yo. So that is pretty impressive. He eats one of these a day, and they are the same size feeder fish that I give the larger morays. So the giant moray and the the tessellata moray that are a lot thicker than him, and also another 1.5 feet longer. So I'm very happy with the amount of food that he's eating and the sizes. So hopefully he will ignore small clownfish, damsels, chromies, whatever else you have in that other tank that he's going in now. So yeah, let me show you that other tank, and then I'm going to be moving him inside. So one quick tip that I wanted to show you regarding eels if they don't want to eat. So usually I leave a fish like this, on the bottom of the tank, but unfortunately he doesn't eat it. But however, if you do drop the fish in so it lands in front of his nose and tries to float back to the top, that can sometimes trigger his eating instincts. So I'm going to try to demonstrate that. Okay, he's definitely now more alert. And he just ate it. Probably not. It's probably too big. Oh no, here we go. Very cool. So here it is. Here's the redesigned 270 gallon aquarium, 6 feet long, 2 feet front to back, and 3 feet tall. And yeah, I did use the zip ties I showed you earlier to tie up some of these rocks, and I've been able to hide them all pretty much except for this one above my finger. But other than that, you don't see them at all, so that's pretty cool. This is the 4-inch PVC pipe that was in this tank before when the tessellata and the giant moray used to in there. So look at some of my older videos when these two were in this tank. I did, however, lengthen the distance between this opening and this opening so that this opening is now all the way till the end. And yeah, so also make sure that there's a big enough opening going in here and then around, coming back out here. And also on this side, openings there for big moray and there. And I also decided to lift this up from the bottom to prevent gunk from accumulating, and also for the gobies to go underneath, the banana morays to go underneath. And yeah, so obviously, you see the pipes. I tried my best to hide as much as possible, but because this tank is only 2 feet front to back, and this section right there is even shorter because of the overflow box, I could really put something in front. So I'm fine with this. One thing that I noticed with the Tessellata Moray, he decided to not only start picking on the Dragon Moray, but also the Viper Moray. And fortunately, the aggression has slowed down a lot. And it's not about territory; it's more about food. So the Tessellata gets a little bit cranky when it's feeding time. He stays in the general feeding area, and kind of make sure that nobody else gets to eat anything except the giant Moray. So I just started to spread out the food a little more, and because the tank is 10 feet long, so I have a lot of opportunity to place food somewhere else. But yeah, I was a little bit worried that I may have to put the Tessellata into this tank. So and if that is the case in the future, I don't have to redesign this whole thing again, because this 4-inch piping will be suitable for him as well. So yeah, but for now, this will be the tank for the 2 banana morays that are already in here and the Dragon Moray. And hopefully everything will go well. I have a diamond goby here. I do have some engineer gobies, like I mentioned earlier. They're hiding right now. I hope I have trained him enough to eat only frozen food and food that smells like garlic. But you never know. But I will keep my best to keep him fed. I assume he will be hiding a lot in the beginning. And but eventually this pipe system here is basically for him. I mean, like I said, this tank is 6 feet long, so this pipe system is almost 6 feet long as well, and he only grows to 3 feet. So that should be a lot of extra space for him, not just one cave. And he does get very thick though, so not as thick as the giant Moray and the Tessellata Moray right now, but he will get substantially thicker. And so this 4-inch pipe system is, I think, a perfect size when he's fully grown. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be catching him now, putting him in. Hopefully everything will go well, and then we'll show you some additional footage of him. All right, Dragon Ball about to go in. Unfortunately, he was stressed so much that he actually threw up some of the food. So you see these 2 feeder fish here, but he's gonna go into the tank. Wow, beautiful animal. Holy cow. And yeah, we'll just have to remove these 2 feeder fish, and see how he settles in from now on. All right, the Dragon Moray has been in the tank now for about 15 minutes. Here he is, and he's actually a very curious eel, so I expected him to go into hiding right away and not see him for like 2 days or whatever, but he is very curious about his new home. And yeah, the next 48 hours will be crucial. I have to make sure I don't see any aggression against any of my fish in here, especially the group of engineer gobies. But when I look at the size of them, they're actually larger than the spiny gobies that I fed them earlier. And those are, almost too large. So I would be very surprised if we go after, these guys. And the diamond goby is way too fast, so I don't think there will be any problem with that. Obviously, the 2 banana morays, very curious to see how that will go. Talk to multiple people, and should be no problem whatsoever. And one thing that will also, keep an eye on is right now you see all the fish, utilizing the entirety of the tank. So we have fish in all kinds of caves everywhere. But once I start seeing fish, being, staying in a certain area, or only in the upper part of the tank and not going towards the rocks anymore, then I know there is a problem with the Dragon Moray. But so far everyone is doing well, everyone is playing with one another, and I think yeah, I don't see any problem, honestly. I think this is actually his forever home now. The 4-inch PVC pipe system, obviously, because how long it is from one end to the other, it's literally a 6-foot long cave. So once he starts to discover that, he will mostly, you know, stay in that pipe and keep him away from the rocks. So even if there's a little bit of aggression, once he discovers this pipe system as his home, I think, you know, that will help a lot, you know, making sure that everyone will get along with one another. Banana morays are right now about 1.5 feet maybe, or a little smaller. They will grow to 2 feet. Unfortunately, they're hiding right now. I can't show you. And then the dragon moray growing to 3 feet. So it's close enough. So the 1,000 gallon tank, you know, with the giant moray growing to 10 feet, green moray to 8 feet, tessellata also 8 feet, viper moray 8 feet, zebra moray I think 5 feet. So that tank, you know, is, you know, was set up for the big guys. So I think he will be a lot more, you know, happy in this tank here. So yeah, if nothing else happens, I will provide an update in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very happy how it turned out, this tank. The 3D background, you see, has a little bit different color compared to the rocks, but once, you know, coralline algae will grow and stuff, it will blend in more. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you in the next video.